morning, City Life.
Hi, I'm Noah, and this talk is mainly about forgiveness. I'll get straight into it. Over lockdown, I found myself being easily wound up and getting frustrated with my siblings and have felt the need to be forgiven. So I decided to look up some verses about forgiveness and found them very touching. So I asked my dad if I could give a thought in the daily encouragement. Psalm 103, verse 10-14 states that he has not punished us as we deserve for all our sins, for his mercy towards those who fear and honour him is as great as the height of the heavens above the earth. He has removed our sin as far away from us as the east is from the west. He is like a father to us, tender and sympathetic to those who reverence him, for he knows we are but dust. God always wants the best for you, and when I read this psalm, I was drawn back to the song called The Blessing and Eden's encouragement about how he always has a warehouse full of blessings for you, but you just have to ask for them. You might be wondering what the meaning of blessing, and I found a verse which pretty much sums up the meaning of blessing, and it is also one of my favourite because how simple and effective it is. Philippians 4, verse 19-20. My God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. So you might be wondering how we started on forgiveness and found our way on blessing. I believe they are quite similar because when you are forgiven, you are washed clean of sins, and personally I think that is a pretty big blessing. So when you have wronged and are forgiven by God, just remember that counts as a blessing, perhaps the greatest blessing of all.
Brilliant. So now it's my turn. Thank you for listening, and I'm always slightly troubled that I'm on a slightly different page to everyone else of the book, but God told me not to worry about that and to just keep on hearing, keep on listening. So over lockdown I have been struck by the story of Jonah. I was actually listening to it on the Kids Beginners Bible when the kids were watching telly, and in this story, I'll just recap a little bit. Jonah is asked to go to Nineveh, to the city, but instead he goes to Tarshish, which is a different place. But eventually he does do what God's asked and he goes to the city of Nineveh. And when he gets there, in the version that I was watching, he just literally goes to the people and he helps them to learn how to share, to learn how to look after those that are old, to care for the children, to be good parents, to be good siblings. And that's what Jonah does in the video. So I was really stirred that what our call for now is to go to the city and remember the poor. And what's that meant for me? Well, during lockdown, what I've really wanted to do is to hunker down, to be at home in our beautiful house and garden and farm with the children and be with them all the time. But actually what I felt was the right thing to do was to go to work. So I have kept on going to work. I work as a mental health nurse for the NHS, and the kids have gone to school, which I was really worried about as well. But I feel for City Life as a whole, as well as we reconsider the future and the next steps, that at the core of what we're asked to do is to go to the city and remember the poor. And I'm going to finish with a verse that says, he will achieve, never doubt God's mighty power to work in you and accomplish all this. Never doubt God's mighty power to work in you and accomplish all this. He will achieve infinitely more than your greatest request, your most unbelievable dream, and exceed your wildest imagination. He will outdo them all, for his miraculous power constantly energises you. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day. God bless you. Amen.